Hello again, everybody, and welcome to a new edition of You Bet CaneSport with Lee Sterling, a Thanksgiving edition as the Miami Hurricanes get ready to go to Pittsburgh for an icy must-win game with the Pitt Panthers. We're going to talk about that in a minute, and we'll talk more about ParamountSports.com, your place to go for all of your Thanksgiving weekend football games, and there's a lot of them. Lee Sterling's going to be very busy this weekend, but there's nothing more important than the pie making contest that's going to be taking place in the Sterling family Thanksgiving dinner destination, which I'm not sure what it is, which is why I hedged a little bit there. But Lee's got a couple daughters, and they have an annual pie making competition, and Lee is the judge. And so, Lee, what's the prognostication? Which daughter is the favorite this Thanksgiving?
Okay, so here's what happened. It started when my oldest was 7, my youngest was 5. They're now 28 and 26. So I think this is the 21st year. So obviously the first couple of years, my wife was helping them make the pies. And I said to them, oh, why don't we just make them? And I'll say, they're both, it's a tie. And they're like, can't be a tie. In Sterling, true fashion, they're like, there has to be a winner, has to be a loser. So my oldest daughter, Sydney, UM cheerleader, she always makes the banana cream pie, and the youngest makes a huckleberry pie. You ever had a huckleberry pie before?
No, but I love banana cream pie.
Okay, so banana cream pie is my favorite. Huckleberry is right there also. So huckleberry
is.
Okay, so if you like blueberry, or if you ever had
blueberry, yeah.
Okay. So if you like those, you'll like huckleberry even more. So it's a berry, and it is in Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, Washington State, and Oregon.
They sell it. They don't sell that at Publix.
Oh, out there they do,
but not at Publix, here.
But they sell it. They sell it out there. So I have to have it shipped in. I had it shipped in. And it arrived yesterday. So I know because I pulled it in from outside. So here's what happens. So if you ever go to those states in the summer, get yourself a huckleberry shake. Incredible. I mean, outrageous. So I once had a huckleberry pie and loved it. So the youngest makes the huckleberry pie. Been going along the first couple of years. Whenever I announced the winner, the loser would run to a room, start crying. I mean, it was a whole thing. Now they laugh, it's ha. The banana cream pie has won, I think, 14 out of the 20 years so far.
Wow.
It's got to be a really good huckleberry pie to beat it. A couple of years, 2 years, the consistency of the banana cream pie was a little soupy. So it's got to be just perfect. Now, this year, all of a sudden, my son-in-law, who married my oldest daughter, the cheerleader, he sends me a text with the youngest daughter's boyfriend stating that they want to enter a mystery pie. So just like a reality show, after a couple years, they got to add these twists, when they have The Bachelor, all these other shows. Something different has to change after a few years to keep you interested. So I guess that's the idea behind it. So there's going to be a mystery pie. They're not telling me what it is. I did give them a little direction. I said, I love pie. I'll eat any kind of pie. The only pie that I'm like, not so keen on is lemon meringue. So if you present and make a lemon meringue, you're probably not going to win. Almost no shot. And they're like, no, it's not a lemon meringue. I said, okay, 2 more things. If there is a tie, you have to understand my daughters are going to win. And I left them with 2 words. Bring it. So
bring it.
by 6 o'clock or 6:30, you will be able to go onto TikTok at Paramount Sports, or you'll be able to go on Twitter/X and watch the video
of the
Sterling pie eating contest. We have 32 people coming for Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
And we get neighbors. Now it's gotten so big, neighbors literally walk over and they want to know when it takes place. So we have fun with it.
That's awesome. All right. We'll anxiously await the results of that, but we got a little bit more pressing items here to Miami Hurricane fans, and that's this game at Pittsburgh, Lee. And man, I'll tell you, like Pittsburgh's good. They're playing, arguably that game last week might have been one of their best of the season. It's going to be in the 30s. There might be snow flurries on Saturday in Pittsburgh. And you got these, warm weather Cane players coming up there in a game they got to have. And Miami is a 7-point favorite at Pitt. The line came down from 7.5, I believe. And man, it's like I don't even want to think about the possibility of not winning this game, Lee. I mean, this is season defining at this point. What happens up at Pittsburgh on Saturday?
All right, so Pitt has his freshman quarterback named Mason Henschel. He was inserted after they were 2-2. He changed, I think, the direction of the program. Not saying he's Dan Marino, but he's pretty good. I think he has a chance not to play at the next level. He's from like Northwest Ohio. So he had one bad game, and that was the game against Notre Dame. We could have used him there to knock off Notre Dame, but he didn't do the job. They didn't play well in that game and got blown out. Miami's faced really only one other pretty good throwing quarterback, and that's Kevin Jennings from SMU. And probably should have won the game, but didn't come out on top. Miami's pass defense, number 6 in the country, only allowing 8 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Obviously, not having our star cornerback, Scott, hurts some as far as that's concerned. I think the biggest thing here is the weather. We've seen Miami kids, and offense hasn't been great, but maybe defense is worse. And the kids usually, they just don't want to engage. They don't want to, and I understand it. It hurts a lot when you tackle, and that and receivers a little bit catching the ball can be somewhat of a problem. I don't think wind is going to be much of a problem, but it's going to be cold, and these kids just aren't going to be used to it here. I think Miami escapes here, 27-26. I hope we win big. I hope we win the game. It would not shock me if we lose the game here. So
it's a mental toughness challenge. And, what is it about cold that just changes things in football? I mean, you have to try to figure all this out. Like,
it never really bothered me much. I think I only played one game in high school where it was cold. We had a quarterfinal game. We played at the old Tamiami Stadium. Never forget this, in December, early December, it was like 42 degrees. So I had to play the game. I had busted my nose, and they thought I had Hodgkin's disease. Turned out I didn't. They did a biopsy on my neck. You can still see the scar. Huh. And turns out I just had mono, and my
God, I hope you won the malpractice suit on that one.
We didn't know about it. I mean, they were trying everything to find out what was going on. My whole side of my neck was like this, all bulged out. Turned out I think I just had mono. But what happened was my liver, a couple of my organs were enlarged, and my dad, who was the team dentist at Miami, went over to the Dolphins, and we borrowed Bob Greasy's flak jacket. I played with a flak jacket last couple games, came back with a patch on my neck, and I actually played okay. My stats were horrendous. I think I was something like 15 for 34. I threw 4 interceptions in the game. We played Belgrade Day, and we lost, I think, 12-6. But 3 of the 4 interceptions, being honest, were not my fault. Went right through receivers' hands. So I actually went both ways, played safety. I actually had 1 or 2 interceptions in the game. It didn't bother me, the cold weather, but I can see where it would bother some people playing defense and also catching the ball. And it obviously affected my receivers. They hadn't played in a cold weather game, and 3 balls went through their hands, and we lost.
Huh. Well, hopefully there won't be any Hurricane players having their necks sliced up there in Pittsburgh this weekend. But Yeah, it's a hit. It's a little bit of a mystery to me how things can change so much. I mean, rain is obvious, but just being cold and players don't want to bundle up too much.
I mean, some of
Because
the games that remind me the cold weather. So I know we won a couple years ago playing Boston College, cold weather, right?
I don't remember the last
I
time I
think it was a
remember being
meaningless
really.
game over Thanksgiving. If memory serves me correct,
I
wasn't
mean, the last time I remember being really cold at a Canes game, I believe, was at Pittsburgh a few years ago.
no. I think there was one maybe 2 years ago. I think we played at Boston College to end the season. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it's 4 seasons ago. I'm not sure,
Yeah, I
but
don't remember.
I know we won up there. But other than that, at Pitt, I mean, 2017, weren't we undefeated or have one loss?
We had
2017.
We were undefeated, and
Yeah,
and
we were
and
undefeated.
and the night before they had a massive Thanksgiving feast in the hotel that families were invited to and whatever, and they just came out the next day. It was a Friday game. They were not ready to play
Right.
at all, and they got smoked by Pittsburgh up
Yep.
there. And it's a concern. There's no doubt about it. I mean,
The worst, Gary, had to been the Sun Bowl. I forget who we were playing when it started snowing. It went from like
yeah,
50s or
it
60s
was
down
Washington
to
State that year.
and lost in the snow. I'm watching the Miami players bundling up. It was horrible.
Freaking Texas in the middle of that's crazy.
Let's hope the kids rise to the occasion and realize it's for just 3 hours and make the best of it and kick Pitts, you know what?
All right.
Yep.
In the meantime, there's all kinds of crazy. Like, I look at the possibilities for the ACC title game. I mean, it's such a joke. It doesn't even make any sense to even pay attention to it right now. Just let the games be played and then see what's up on Saturday night. Miami's got to win, okay? Until Miami wins that noon game in Pittsburgh, nothing else matters. If they lose, they're going to the Pop Tarts Bowl again, probably. Maybe the Gator, but the point is they're not getting into anything. But there are a lot of games that we'll be keeping an eye on this weekend. I just wanted to touch on some of them.
Yep.
Texas A&M is going to Texas, okay, and they are only a 2.5-point favorite, which kind of surprised me considering the season that they're having. Your thoughts on Texas A&M, Texas?
I thought the line was going to be 4.5. Most of these games, when I sit down on Sunday right before the NFL games and estimate the lines, I just make one estimate. I wrote, it should be 4.5 to 5. They're going to come out 2.5. Sure enough, that's what the line is. So I was right on that one. I still think that Texas A&M is the right side. Why do I say that? Their two receivers, Casey Concepcion and Craver. These two guys are dynamic. 99 receptions combined. Some people, a lot of the estimates, if we do get in, have us playing them if we win the first round game, which would be interesting. It would be, I believe they have us playing in the Sugar Bowl. So we played them a couple
times.
We
would have to survive a trip possibly to Oregon.
Right. We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Way ahead. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So here's the deal. Concepcion and Craver are great. They're averaging almost 16 and 17 yards of reception. Their third guy, Ashton Bethel Roman, he's come on the last 3-4 games. He's averaging almost 25 yards of reception. He has 9 touchdowns here. A&M defense, I think, is going to have the advantage, though. They have 39 sacks, number 2 in the country, and that's Texas's weakness here. I think A&M's better in almost every position, and I think they're going to get revenge for last year. A&M 38-31 over Texas.
All right, and then we got the Lane Bowl this weekend. Man, is this one bizarre with all the speculation that Lane Kiffin is leaving Ole Miss while they're in the middle of a race here for the national title. I mean, bizarre. And they got to finish the season at Mississippi State. They're 7.5-point favorites. Can they overcome the distractions?
I think Trinidad Chambliss is having some problems. Not the same quarterback we saw to start the season. think people have figured him out. They should have gone back to Simmons. I think he was the guy that gave them most upside. So there's a reason why he was at Ferris State. The distraction has to be huge. I think almost for sure he's leaving. You don't issue that kind of statement that you're going to tell everyone what's going on after the game if you're staying. That's just my feeling. Mississippi State has nothing to lose here. Stark Vegas going to go crazy here. I think they pull off the shocker. Beat Ole Miss here, 34-31.
Ooh, Good. Lane deserves it. Okay, Alabama, one of the interesting teams in the country because they lost to FSU opening day, but they've got the best resume beyond that of really any team in the country. They've got 4 wins over top 25 teams. They have to go to Auburn for the season finale. They're -5.5. They're looking also at an SEC championship game appearance. That could be ahead. And what do you think, Lee? Can they survive this trip to Auburn and get to the SEC championship game?
Well, look what Nick Saban said 2 years ago. Well, no, last year, about a year ago. He said that place, Jordan-Hare Stadium, is haunted. So tells you how tough it is to win there if you're Alabama. That's the toughest place he plays in when he was the coach, and they were dominant for many, many years. I think that the change to Ashton Daniels, the transfer from Stanford, has rejuvenated their offense. In the game against Vanderbilt, he threw for 353, threw for 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran for 2 touchdowns and 89 yards here. The Alabama's last time they won by more than 3 points was 2015. Neither team also plays up tempo. I think Alabama escapes here 24-20.
All right. SMU, I don't, depending on the other scenarios, Miami wants them to win or wants them to lose. I'm not going to even try to figure it out, but they're going to play Cal, which just lost their coach. They're 13.5-point favorites, Lee, at Cal. What happens there?
I don't think you can use a trap game to define this game, but I think that it's a tough trip, going out there. Miami had a tough trip when they played there.
Yeah.
Their quarterback reminds me a little bit of Tua. A lot of play action, either hands off or fakes one way, rolls the other. They throw to the tight end coming across, running backs, receivers. Don't throw the ball long very much, but if you're out of position, they can make you pay here. I think SMU wins the game, but I think it's going to be tight. I think they win this game 34-26. But I could see Cal into the game. It wouldn't totally shock me if they pull off the stunner.
You keep using that number 26. That's I think the second or third time on this show you've said somebody's going to have 26. How do you get 26 points? I guess you have to miss.
Teams, what happens is they're at a certain number and they're trailing, and then they've got to go for 2 and miss it. They should have 27. Things like that.
And you've got that figured out. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I think. I wish.
Virginia Tech looked decent against Miami last week, I thought, especially at the line of scrimmage. And they are hosting a Virginia team that I personally don't think is that good. Virginia's -10.5 in this game. Miami, I guess, needs Virginia Tech to beat Virginia. What happens in that one?
I don't think Virginia's that good either, but they were good early in the year. Then they lost their way. And then the last game 2 weeks ago, they had a bye going into this game after beating Duke. They looked like Chandler Morris found his way again. And I think he's a good, solid quarterback when he's healthy. Has some pretty good targets. Not many are going to play in the NFL, but they catch the ball. They run good routes. The play calling is most of the time good. They've lost 18 of the last 20. So not just getting into the ACC championship game, they want to exercise some demons here. Whatever Virginia Tech had left, I think they're done. I mean, also look what was going on at that game. James Franklin was doing interviews, shaking hands, taking pictures with babies. I mean, that was it. The last home game. Now they got to travel with nothing to play for. I know it's a rivalry game, but I think Virginia, I think they regrouped and they win this game 31-17.
All right, and then lastly, Duke. I mean, how they're still in the running, whatever. But They're at home against Wake Forest, and I think they're lucky that game's at home. Wake Forest has been a pesky team for a lot of people in the ACC this year. What happens when Duke -1 at home against Wake Forest?
Yeah, so Duke won last year 23-17 on the last play of the game on a TD pass from 10 years from now. We'll never remember this name, Malik Murphy. The guy played there 1 year. Talk about being he would have games. I remember that game against Miami. The first half he was great. Second half, he reminded me he was god awful. So had a 39-yard touchdown pass to a good receiver, Jordan Moore here. Crazy that Duke is still in it here. Robbie Ashford, the quarterback for Wake Forest, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Wake Forest 8-3, but their best work was beating SMU in that game, that error-plagued game. They did beat Virginia 16-9, but Chandler Morris only played 1 quarter in that game here. I think Duke's the right side here, 27-24.
All right, Lee. Well, it's going to be one hell of a football weekend, man, between all these college games and the NFL and and then of course there's the pie contest in your house later today. So want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for all of your insight. And, hopefully the next time that we get together on this show, it will be a game that is meaningful. I'm not quite sure how they're going to get there, but hopefully there's some way they do get there.
Just win. I think if we win by double digits, it will be almost impossible for the selection committee to deny us. So just do our work. I'll never forget this. One of my favorite shirts I bought for my oldest daughter. She kept the shirt forever. Said, "Shit on Pitt." So
get it done.
She was a little girl. She loved it. Bought her that shirt probably 20, 25 years ago.
What's a little bit of cold, right? Anything going on for Black Friday at ParamountSports.com?
Yep. They want to get every game, the entire weekend, 15 games, turkey shootout, and we've never gone 15-0. We had a 14-1 maybe 6-7 years ago. We've had 2 13-2s, a 12-3, and a couple. We went 11-4 last year on the turkey shootout. 15 games through the entire weekend, just $97. So if you want to give us a try, maybe you got some relatives you don't want to really talk to, or you've heard the stories over and over again. You want to listen to them a little bit and watch, keep your eye focused on the game and bet some games and hopefully win. We might be what you're looking for. Turkey shootout, 15 games, just $97, ParamountSports.com.
All righty. Well, we thank you guys for watching. For Lee, I'm Gary. Have a great Turkey Day, a great football weekend, and we'll see you next time, everybody.